This podcast was produced by students in the fall semester of 2014 of the Self-Media and Society class at John Jay College. These students are responding to the following question: how do your smart devices and social media affect how you think about the world, yourself, and others? We'll start off with ideas from the teams in the Learning Community section 06.
Connected or isolated? Does media connect or isolate us from the rest of the world? I'm Jennifer.
I'm Momo.
I'm Dorani.
I'm Roger.
I'm Gabriel. Media causes isolation on a daily basis. Every day on the train, I see people pulling out their mobile devices or tablets, and all they seem to do is focus on that. Conversation is dying because of this and killing interactions.
Okay, but actually, I believe that it connects us to the rest of the world, because if it wasn't for media such as the news, how would we actually know what's going on around the world? Like, especially if we have a foreign family in another country, say in South America, how would we know if they're okay, if there's a war in their country, if they're alive still, or if there's something wrong? If there's something wrong with them. If it wasn't for a phone, Skype, or some form of media such as even Facebook, how would we connect to them?
That was Dorani speaking. Back to Momo.
Well, I believe that even if we have a phone, we still don't know how to interact properly face-to-face. This is because Sherry Turkle, in her video Connected But Alone, states that our little devices that are in our pockets 24/7 is changing our attitudes and behavior. This is because we rather talk to them through text than in person, because most people are afraid to talk face-to-face because they're afraid what they might say. On the other hand, if you think about it, people have enough time to think about what they're writing and they're going to revise it. So that's pretty much why we are mostly isolated and connected through media.
Back to Roger.
According to the video, How the Internet Enables Intimacy by Stefana Broadbent, she talks about phone calls actually connecting more people, because phone calls help connect people from long distances. They help them know how they're doing. It connects how
people won't see each other face to face. People that long distance, people who don't see each other face to face, a phone call will be necessary, because how exactly are you supposed to go see your loved one in another country face to face? You'll have to buy a ticket online, go catch a plane to go see them. But as Momo said, she thinks that
we can't hold a real conversation because some people, they're socially awkward when it comes to face-to-face, but while we're texting, we don't really care who's around us. We just care that we could revise and say what we have to say through editing. And I feel like texting actually makes us a little bit lonelier, because some people, when they want to hang out, they don't technically hang out because they're really on the phone. So,
right, I believe that how you call it, phone calls actually connect more people because it helps them connect from long distances.
Exactly. So how exactly is it if you're not seeing this person face to face? Obviously you're gonna have to text them or call them. So
it's still a form of communication and a form of connection between media and people.
Back to Jennifer. Well, Turkle does make a point, and she does say that if we hang out with friends, we're still on our phone. If you're talking to a person face to face and someone's on their phone, they're still isolated from that person's conversation. If you're hanging out with friends and you're on your phone, you're still isolated from that group. Now, even if you're in a crowd with about 100 or 1,000 people and you're on your phone, you're isolated from around your environment. And Stefana Broadband does say that 50% of anyone with email access at work is actually doing private emails from their office. 75% of people admit doing private conversations from work on their mobile phones, and 100% are using text. That creates an isolation and a distraction from their work.
So, this debate is about how connect or isolate, but everyone has their own opinion. But we would like to hear yours. So, tune in for the next podcast.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Bridget.
My name is Ophelia.
My name is Tiffany.
And my name is Mohammed, and we're from Drama and Society 131. And today for our podcast, we're going to talk about some things that people tend to be unaware of about social media in general.
The first topic we're going to be talking about is from a presentation called The Innovation of Loneliness. A quote from this is, "Intimacy is exchanging photos and chat conversations. We are sacrificing conversation for mere connection." This is true because we say we have hundreds of friends we believe we know personally, but in actuality we really know nothing about them. In social media and through text, people put up a front or a persona of who they want everyone to think they are. But in reality, it's not really who they are. I can't go a day without touching my iPhone, iPad, and laptop. I'm texting every waking minute of the day and checking my social media accounts almost just as much. Media changes people, and it depicts how we should act and how we should look, and it just pushes everyone to be perfect.
As Bridget mentioned about the innovation of loneliness, real conversation is feared because corrections and filtering cannot take place. Texting, emailing, posting are things we can edit, things we can lie about, unlike real conversation because we can't filter out anything we say or do. Time has become money, and it's quantity over quality.
Okay, and the second and last topic we will be discussing will be a presentation on TED Talks. Speaker Eli Parazin, he talks about the filter bubbles. It was a connection that we all had to the world by using the internet, but now there has been a shift in its meaning. Eli goes on to say that we don't know what gets filtered out through these algorithmic filters. He states how web browsers and sites like Google, YouTube, Facebook, Pandora, and other sites have these filters to give us recommendations to what the internet thinks we're interested in. And instead of us getting the general search, we are given a filtered and personalized search. In a way, I do not like the algorithmic searches because I feel that I'm not given the 100% true search that I believe that I deserve. The internet is showing us what it thinks we want to see, but not necessarily what we need to see. The major issue with these internet sites tailoring their results to our personal likes and dislikes based on algorithms is that there's a danger, unintended consequence of us all getting trapped inside our own filter bubbles in a way which we will not, we don't expand. The problem about this personalization of search, as Eli points out, is that you don't decide what gets in to your filter bubble, and more importantly, you also don't actually see what gets edited out.
And this is for our listeners. You could actually test this out. You can go to Facebook and you could set your relationship status to, let's just say if you're single, you could change it to engaged. And the next time you search something on Google or Yahoo or Bing or any search engine that you can use, you can see that at the sidebar that now you'll see some stuff like wedding dresses, engagement rings, and stuff like that. And please leave a comment below and tune in for next time.
Thank you for your
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Self-Media Society class at JJAY College, Project 1. I'm Vida Kanai, and I'm here with my colleagues.
Brianna Gonzalez.
Agan Kalashi.
And Ali Tanvir.
And we're here to talk about how social media, whether or not it can bring good or bad regarding information to the general public. Nowadays, there's a lot of people who don't understand how to interpret the information they consume over social media. For example, we have the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which is a challenge that people post onto social media, showcasing them throwing ice water onto themselves. It's to stimulate the idea of the disease, which is a disease that can affect nerve cells in one's brain and spinal cord. It basically shuts your body down.
To build on to what my colleague is saying, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, although it brings a lot of attention, although we have so many celebrities such as Eminem and Rihanna participating in such a challenge, although it is bringing a good cause, it is also harming the people around us. For example, in Ohio, in a high school, 2 teenage bullies intentionally forced an autistic boy to take the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, normally within this challenge, as the name says, within the bucket contains freezing ice. However, these bullies forced the kid to dump over a bucket filled with urine and feces. The ALS challenge, although supporting a good cause, at the same time, is causing many to be in harm.
I feel as if the ALS challenge brings awareness and brings families closer and gets the cause money. Some people do get out of hand and do bad with this challenge, but I do feel as if it's a very beneficial and it raises money for these people that have this disease.
Social media is the only way that this disease got its awareness and got its domino effect rolling. And without trending topics or celebrities doing the challenge itself, then I don't think that anybody, or even myself, I would have never known what the awareness or the ALS was. And one prime example of how social media is trending this challenge is President Travis of JJAY did the challenge himself, which was good. I mean, brought awareness for the challenge, yeah.
But then what about the people who don't know what ALS is? Some people just do the challenge to follow the status quo. They don't understand what the disease is supposed to be, what it's supposed to do to one's body.
What's the point of creating a worldwide trend in where we support a cause, but we don't know what the cause we're supporting is?
I do think it's bad that some people don't know what the ALS challenge is, but a lot of people are going to be uninformed all the time. So some are uninformed, but others are informed about it, and at the end of the day, you're going to have people that don't care and that do care.
All that matters is that people do the challenge and money gets donated.
But then that brings us to the question of how valuable is information?
How valuable is it for one person to interpret this way while other people interpret another way?
Why has such a value throughout the course of history significantly decreased? Why are people participating in such a challenge just to grab attention? Many people dump ice over themselves not to support the cause, but to gain and attract attention. So what exactly is the value of information in this day and age?
Good afternoon. You're now listening to our chit-chat about social media, and my name is Meandra. My name is Lanisha.
My name's Brenda. What's up, guys? I'm from Brooklyn. I have 2 cats. My favorite sport is eating pizza. Actually, back to my cats. My sister just found one of them on the street, and it reminds me of this time in the 5th grade when, I found this little bird.
Whoa, Brenda. That is way too much information.
Yeah, that's not what the people came to talk about.
Let's get on topic.
Fine. But just for your information, that story about the 5th grade is so interesting that you're missing out.
Anyway, Have you girls heard about Postman's point of view on social media and the majority gaining too much relevant information from it?
Yeah, I seen his video. He said too much information becomes now a problem to be solved. But also, lack of information can be very dangerous because it can lead to a situation of meaninglessness. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I understand where he's coming from, people. People need to learn to separate relevant, irrelevant, useful, and not useful information. We pay too much mind to information that we don't need. And social media is becoming a threat to the peace of mind and, importantly, to one's sense of meaning, because now it's not how to get info, but how to help people get some meaning from what's happening.
I agree. Sometimes people just don't know how connected they are to media. Even worse, some people just don't know when they are giving information and just destroying it by going on and on and on
Brenda,
and on.
You're doing it again.
Doing what?
Anyway,
Technical difficulties.
Anyway, guys, thank you. Thanks to the audience. I hope you guys come and join us again next time.
Yeah, maybe next time I'll actually finish a story for once.
Good night.
Good night.
The following selection of podcasts comes from the Learning Community section 05.
This is Group 4. Our topic for today's discussion is, are we really connected through social media?
My name is Tiana. I met my boyfriend senior year when we graduated. I was too shy to tell him. I used Messenger to talk to him and get to know him better before I actually told him that I had a crush on him. I was really shy to talk to him. It took me a whole summer to actually meet with him in person afterwards.
So you're saying you actually gained the connection with your boyfriend through social media?
Yes, Jasmine. I did gain a connection through social media, but at the same time, I felt like I lost a part of my confidence due to it. I felt like I would have had grown more of a backbone if I actually did it to him in person.
Well, the con of social media connection is that you can become whoever you want to become. Like in Catfish, you can be somebody completely different, and behind the screen, you can be plain Jane. And also on Instagram, you take like 50 photos before you post one up that you really truly like, and you can filter it. You become who you want to become, and you get to put out what people want to see.
I feel that it's definitely a pro for the fact that, God forbid you have family somewhere in Iraq or in a long distance place from where you are, you can interact with them and you can visually see them through a webcam or through FaceTime, or you can actually still have a conversation with them through texting or any of the apps that come with the phones or IMs and emails. So I feel like social media definitely has its perks for long distance relationships.
I don't necessarily disagree with Brianna due to the fact that those in Iraq are communicating with their families and those loved ones because they're already physically together. But what about those who are just like two random people talking together? They're not physically having a conversation, they're talking to a screen basically.
And I mean, that could be really difficult for certain people to be able to watch someone do like different things but not be personally there with them. Like, it goes on the topic of intimacy, like the fact that having there's a whole study basically about the study of hugs and how it affects us. Like, if we're going through something emotionally at that time, we really want someone there just to hold us and tell us it's going to be okay, not to get a message or a little couple likes on our post that we're depressed by someone else.
I definitely agree with that. You definitely want an intimacy with someone when you're upset, or even when you're in a great mood and you're excited. You want to tell somebody, but you want them to physically see the excitement or the sadness that you are feeling, and there's definitely that factor too.
But on another note, on social media, you can create a profile, say whatever you want, and can't people want to befriend you and get to know you from that, what you post?
I disagree with Jasmine because I feel the more we show ourselves, the more we're vulnerable and the more we feel like we're not going to get accepted. That's why we put out what we want to put out.
I definitely agree with Jasmine on the fact that people can be very judgmental, and that's why people do hide behind a phone screen or the computer screen and go through social media to talk to somebody, but no one's going to ever like you or want to talk to you if you're sitting there behind your phone screen or you're sitting there behind the computer screen.
But can't you say the same thing online that you can say in person?
Not technically, because of the fact that you can turn around and you can say whatever you want on a phone screen, but when you're in person with somebody, you can actually see their reaction that minute without having to wait 20 minutes for them to answer a text message, giving them time to think about what they actually do want to say.
Yeah, like I know a lot of friends that are very popular online and have like a bunch of like 2,000, 3,000 friends on like Facebook or like a bunch of followers, and in reality, they only have like 1 to 2 friends that actually really like care about them. Like they go through life think they are really like this big thing now because they have all these different type of friends, but they're not building real friendships. They may like someone else's post, they may share a video by that person, but they're not building an interconnection with that person. So they're not making real friendships.
I agree with Tiana. Also, like on an emotional aspect, you lose that in person.
Well, we can debate this topic all day, but that's all the time we have left. This is Team 4. I'm Gabrielle.
Tiana.
Jasmine. Darlene.
Brianna.
Thank you for listening.
This is Self Media Society Group 1. My name is Amy.
My name is Adam.
My name is Sandy.
I'm Melody.
And I am Andre. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Now, media has been a part of our lives longer than many would assume. From the town criers of Europe to the penny presses of the United States and the radio of the 20th century, they were made to inform and unite the people, the political debates of the Federalist Papers, the stocks that came with the evolution of capitalism, and the encouragement of war bonds during World War II. Today, however, it carries little vital value. Cheapened throughout the years, a nexus of irrelevant words and pictures circulating over and over. However, opinion of this is sharply divided whether or not social media carries its uses, and the words of our peers will demonstrate this.
In today's society, teenagers seem to base most of their so-called friendships off of social networks and how they feel they're communicating just off of these social networks.
For instance, when someone sees their friend post a status on Facebook, they feel as if they're living in that moment with the person, but in reality, when they meet up with that person, they have nothing to talk about.
Well, I disagree with that because I've built friendships online. I get to know people on a personal level, and I also get to talk to them on a day-to-day basis.
You talk to them online, but how many times have you had an actual face-to-face conversation with them?
Well, I always use Skype to be able to chat with people face-to-face. Wouldn't that help?
Well, Skype, that's not expanding your real communication skills. It's still just an excuse to not physically be present in an actual conversation with someone.
And then, God forbid, one of your friends doesn't message you or send you a notification, then you feel all alone and depressed.
So what do you guys think? Does social media actually help form successful new relationships? Give us your opinion on hashtag Radio568.
I'm here today with a few JJAY students, and we would like to discuss the topic of Instagram. Sabina, can you tell us more about Instagram?
Instagram is a fast, beautiful, and fun way to share your life with friends and family. Take a picture or a video, choose a filter to transform a look and feel, then post it to Instagram.
Kia, would you say that you're addicted to Instagram?
Yes, I am extremely addicted to Instagram. I am up liking pics, commenting, being nosy, creeping. I'm up all hours of the night. I barely get any sleep.
Can you elaborate more on creeping? What do you mean?
I'm on other people's pages sometimes. I'm very nosy. And, you know, me and my best friend, we go back and forth talking about people.
But why are you, like, nosy? What?
Well, one, because that's my nature. And two, because I get this false sense of being accepted and being liked and all that kind of stuff.
So you don't feel like that type of way when you around like people, like around, like, let's say now, do you feel accepted around us?
Yeah, I feel accepted, but usually feel more accepted around people I already know, like my family and stuff.
All right.
So, well, Sherry Turkle has a video called Connected But Alone. Diego, can you tell us more about this video?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, this video is basically about like how she talks on how her daughter is like somewhat addicted to texting. It's not really relevant to Instagram, but like you could say that in her phone, like she's constantly on her phone, constantly texting or posting pictures on Facebook or on Instagram. It really doesn't matter because that social media is just like containing yourself, you know what I mean?
Right.
So this is in the video, she shows like a picture of her daughter and her two friends, and it's like they're sitting all in the same room, but they're not together, literally. Like they all have their phones, they're all just looking at their phones, and they feel like they just like separated from each other. So like basically what I wanted to ask was, do you feel this about, like, do you feel that you will be contained by your phone? Do you feel that that world will contain you and you will just constantly be on that?
Not really, because I don't usually go on Instagram that much because I chill with my friends a lot, but sometimes I actually do go on Instagram to check out like what's the world around me, my friends, and I know that Instagram is one of the appealing and a large artistic production for over 150 million users. So I think that Instagram has some part of negative and positive aspects to it.
All right. So you basically like saying that you use Instagram to like meet other people.
I guess you could say that. I usually use it to show with other people. Like I could like look at my friends and how their life goes, like their pictures.
Thank you everyone for being with us and sharing your opinions. Now, let me check my Instagram.
Hey everyone, we are coming live for Radio568. Today we will be explaining how society relies on media for social acceptance. Allison, what do you have to say about it?
Thank you, Val. People rely on social media for seek attention, acceptance, understanding, social status, and even sympathy. We rely on likes, reposts, reblogs, and comments on the accounts that we make to give us the idea that we are being seen and heard from our social group. In reality, we are in fact alone. We lack intimacy and personal interaction. We lose familiar and social connections. As mentioned in The Innovation of Loneliness by Shimmy Cohen, he illustrates Turkle's arguments in a form of animation. He mentions how we're all guilty of collecting friends like stamps, and how we suggest that we use quantity over quality.
That's a great point, Allison. Keep going.
Say that last sentence again.
All right. In The Innovation of Loneliness by Shimmy Cohen.
No, the last sentence.
All right. He mentions in the video that we are all guilty of collecting friends like stamps, and how we suggest using quantity over quality.
That's a great point, Allison. Do you have anything to add, Dina?
You're good, go.
Okay. I completely agree with you, Allison. Throughout our history, society has always had something to prove. Back in the day, obesity represented a person's wealth. In more recent years, brand names show one's wealth. Additionally, being skinny equals beauty. So today, society is trying to prove popularity through their amount of followers, friends, and likes. But this is all just an image that can actually be completely false.
Sounds good. Do you have anything to say, Ari?
I actually agree with Dina and Allison and what they're talking about. And Sherry Turkle demonstrates in her video, Connected But Alone on the TED Talk, that she, even though she has a daughter and she enjoys receiving texts from her daughter, that they make her feel happy. But she says that if she receives too many texts, it can sometimes, or overdoing it, will actually ruin the relationship between them. And it allows them, even though it allows them to stay more connected, it also can allow them to go and not become as close as they once were. But she also goes on to say, it's also stated in the video, The Innovation of Loneliness, which you guys talked about, how that we can only know intimately about 150 people. And even though every person tries to have as many friends on social media as possible, they think that they're more social or have more friends, we can end up going and making it seem that we are not lonely at all. When in reality, because we don't know all these friends as well, because if we have 300 friends or 250 friends, we wouldn't know them as well as we actually had if we only had 50 friends who we talked to or knew, or 100 friends who we talked to and knew on a daily basis. And this is all shown and basically summarized in the 2 videos. So yeah, I agree.
Shimmy Cohen goes to prove that this all has been demonstrated by people claiming to feel lonely, even though they have friends on social media. Social media can positively and negatively affect relationships with people. Thank you.
And it's been, you forgot to add that it's been proven that even though people have more friends, it's been...
I just said it. People claiming to have friends.
Okay, now close it.
That's all. We're done.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you for listening.
The final set of podcasts from the Self-Meeting Society class, emanating from JJAY College, fall 2014 semester, comes from section 02. Again, they're talking about social media and its effect on their lives and the general society.
Hello, this is Gonzalo Polo Ureña from the class Self-Media and Society, section 02, and today I have with me
Estefany Núñez,
Kristen Soriano, Victoria Sanchez.
And we're going to discuss how social media and our cell phones have an effect on our personalities and how we act around others. For example, have you ever been out with your friends and you're all on your phones? It is like what Sherry Turkle said in her TED Talk presentation called Connected But Alone. We're getting used to the way of being alone but together. There have been many instances where I go out to eat with my friends and we're all on our phones. No one is talking to each other and it feels like we aren't even together. So whenever we go out to eat, the first thing I ask them to do is to put their phones in the middle of the table, and whoever picks it up has to pay for the whole entire bill. It goes to say that our phones are more important than who we are with.
I agree with Ms. Turkle. Social media is making us think that spending more time on the web connects us with others, but in reality, it disconnects us from the people around us. Yesterday, I was on the bus, and it caught my attention how this 4-year-old tells her brother that her mom cares more about herself, her newborn, and her cell phone. This is a clear view of how we think we are connecting with people through our cell phone, and maybe we are, but without realizing it, we are getting disconnected from those around ourselves.
To add on to what Stephanie said, we have become so addicted to our phones as well as social media that we no longer have the time or ability to take a step back and analyze how much we've changed as a result, and not in a good way. As Sherry Turkle said, we're letting technology take us places that we don't want to go. Family gatherings, hanging out with your friends, or any other intimate events that we have participated in are losing exactly that intimacy. We no longer share that time as we once used to together because we are too busy and too involved in our bright screens, scrolling down through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
From my own personal experience, I have come to realize that I have a reliance and addiction to my phone. Other people have told me that I separate myself from the whole world. This is the same from what Turkle said in her TED Talk. We are together, but not together. That proves that not only my behavior, but also the behavior of young people my age. We sometimes think that we are in control of how much we use our devices, but in reality, we are so reliable on them that they actually control us. But then again, Stefana Broadbent offers a different argument, which would help me in my defense. She said that it actually enables us to get closer together.
Yeah. Yes, cell phones can distract us, and sometimes in a huge negative way, but it is our job as our own individual to do something about it.
From the Self-Media and Society class, we're doing a project on effects on media. Our topic is going to be how Instagram affects us. So we're going to introduce everyone, starting from me. I am Tanjida.
I'm Heidi.
I'm Clefia.
I'm Paul. It's your boy Andrew.
This is Miriam.
So I'm going to let Heidi ask our question for today.
So I just want to know what you guys think about Instagram, and when you go on Instagram, what do you look for when you go on it?
I think Instagram is a good way to stay in connection with your friends, but it also has unintended consequences. Some of the things I look for on Instagram would be, I guess, like my friends' pictures, or maybe somebody that I follow that I like their style or whatever that they're doing. And yeah, that's it.
I think Instagram is a good way of sharing ideas and connecting with my friends. Something I always look forward to when I go on Instagram is seeing all the kinds of different pictures my family or friends post. Also, I follow several celebrities, and it's always good to see how is it that they live their lives, although we always don't get to see what it is.
Well, I really like Instagram, and I think it's an interesting social network because it's like really interesting, like looking at all the memes and all the selfies of beautiful girls that I follow. It's really cool, and yeah, I really like it. It's a good social network, and I
think Instagram is an entertaining website and also used as a beauty contest.
Instagram for me is where I upload my good-looking pictures on it, and where I go, the food pictures, and also when I look around for going for new places where my friend went or which looked interesting, and the foods that they had to try it once for myself. That's all.
So as I was listening, I recognized that you guys all said that you guys like to connect with your friends on Instagram. But I also feel like Instagram is a way of, let's just say, it's a time consumer. So instead of doing our homework, we like to check Instagram. And it's a way of procrastinating, I guess, even though it has their positives. So what do you think are some negatives about Instagram? And if so, explain.
Some of the negatives about Instagram is, like Miriam said, it can be a beauty contest. Again, who's prettier than the other, who can get more likes, who can get on Instagram famous faster, and such. And yeah, that's basically it.
I think some negatives that Instagram has is that sometimes the Instagram can go from sharing ideas to like a competition in between users, because there's always someone that's trying to compete or beat someone in a picture, or always trying to look better, or always trying to send a message to somebody else. But then rather just simply sharing your ideas just because you think it's interesting.
Well, I think the negative is that people try to be something that they're not on Instagram. I mean, if you're not about that life, stop trying to act like you about that life. You're not about that life, all right? So another thing is that a lot of people, they filter their photos, and it just goes to the point where you can't even recognize them, and in reality they're just like ugly. I mean, personally, all right, just saying.
So Instagram negativeness is that the privacy, which kind of affects me, because I'm giving a lot of pictures in Instagram, and even if you put it on privacy, there are other people who are looking at your picture. So even if you can control it, but you can't control it in some ways.
I think overall Instagram is used, like some people have insecurities and they use Instagram to cover it up and make up personalities that they think people would like to see.
So I feel like all of you guys are trying to say that a lot of people are hiding their true identity and showing what they want people to see. So we're going to go to, how do you think Instagram has affected our social environment?
Well, as Sherry Turkle video said, that we're being together, but we're not actually being together. It's like when we're hanging out with friends, we were used to enjoy gossip and laugh, but nowadays we're just showing off that we're together in the media. We're uploading pictures, taking selfies, showing it, and then, listening to the comments and stuff. But actually, we're not together. We're on the media, but connecting through the media. So I agree with Sherry Turkle. So we're going to go to Andrew for our ending.
Well, as you heard, there are a lot of positive and negatives about Instagram. And I think we're going to end it off here. This is Radio568. Follow me on Instagram. My name is Andrew2Real. That's with the underscores in between. So it's Andrew2Real. I make funny videos. I have beautiful pictures of myself if you want to see. And yeah, follow me.
This is
Self
Media
and
Society.
Okay, I'm Ajibola Allison.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Andrew. And we will be talking about how smart devices are a distraction.
Major distraction. Okay, so in class we had an assignment to watch the movie Her, and we saw a severe case of a guy who got really into his phone, really intimate. It wasn't physical, but it was just, you know, a mental connection they had that was like a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. That was kind of crazy. In the video, he made us watch the part when his phone, Her, broke up with him, and she basically told him that it was kind of crazy and how they just couldn't keep doing this, and that the relationship was really, I don't know what to say.
That's not even a relationship, bro.
Yeah, it's not. I want to keep going.
It's just a distraction, a major distraction. Like, we came across on the web that they have rehabilitation centers for teen social media addictions, and it is crazy that just how a little distraction can addict somebody. I mean, it takes the person away from their family, from their schoolwork, from society, from paying attention, even crossing the street. Yeah. So many news articles, I guess, or stories have been said somebody was walking the street and almost got hit by a car or something like that. Yeah. And it just keeps on happening and happening all over the world. And the treatment that they say they're going to use is take it away from the person, but that only can work for so long.
Also, in the movie Her, I've noticed that when you see the breakup scene between the male and his computer, his love interest, you see that all the human emotions that he actually has attached to the computer, and it feels like an actual breakup when you're watching it, like how dramatic they make it. It's extremely intense, and it's showing how he ignores society around him, and he just falls in love with his computer because he may or may not feel like society can accept him, and this is also seen as an upcoming illness in society.
Also, we see another case where a guy basically almost killed himself, and Stephanie's going to talk more about that.
Oh yeah, he's a 19-year-old, and I came across this in dailyhealthpost.com. Basically, it was talking about self-addiction linked to narcissism, low self-esteem, and mental illness. So the 19-year-old, he will take 200 selfies a day. Yep, 200.
That's mad much.
Because he was obsessed with taking the perfect selfie. When he couldn't take the perfect selfie, he was on the borderline of committing suicide. He's well now. He went to one of the rehabilitation centers, and his psychiatrist, I guess you could say, told them he was all good and fine.
It's amazing how the struggle is so real with just a smart device, such as the ones that we carry in our pocket every day.
I think a major problem seen here is also how do you know enough is enough with technology? How do you know if you're addicted, if you just like to use it a lot, or if you just don't want to use it?
Imagine going a day without your phone. Can many of us do that? I don't know.
I would definitely not do that.
I think something that our listeners can take away from this is, are they addicted to technology, or do they just like it?
Alright, till next time, guys. I'm Andrew Reyes.
I'm Ajibola Allison.
I'm Olivia Lima.
And I'm Stephanie Mendoza.
And we out here.
Bye.
Till next time, guys.
Hello, Radio568. This is Group 6 of Professor Winston's Self-Media and Society class, and today we're going to talk about how media affects society. My name is Ryan, and I believe that media affects society greatly, and for many reasons. For example, Instagram is an aspect of social networking in media that allows us to profile ourselves. What this brings is a lack of personal and physical communication. It allows us to keep in touch, but not as we, or personally, what I would prefer. This causes a lack of connection, but keeps the idea and realism of communicating alive. For more on the differences of connection and communication, you guys can watch The Innovation of Loneliness by Turkle on Vimeo.
My name is Adis, and the greatest thing about social media is that it's allowed us to communicate in a much more broader spectrum, and where we're able to communicate with somebody from across the world and talk about issues that's been going on, like political issues. We can also talk about traditions, cultures, gain more information than we ever had, unlike back in the day, which required huge amount of time and traveling. But now all you got to do is just go onto your computer or use your cell phone, access a social media website, and talk to a person that's from another country, and you start to communicate and start to understand in a much more better way. It gives you the sense of feeling that the world is a much more smaller place than ever before.
My name is Catherine, and I want to talk about how Netflix affects me and many people in the country. I can use Netflix all day and sometimes break night trying to finish a show. Netflix can be a distraction, and that's why Turco may believe that people don't know how to have a conversation, since all our attention is into things like Netflix and many other social media.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I feel that your cell phone has a big effect on your communication skills, from the constant texting and emailing and new updated apps. For example, instead of meeting up to have a face-to-face conversation, people would rather text all day, which is not really having good communication skills, but instead developing an addiction to your cell phone.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn, and I'm going to talk about how Facebook is very time-consuming. Originally, Facebook was just a virtual page to share thoughts and photos, but now Facebook includes gaming apps, video sharing, and even event organization on calendars, and just includes many more things. All these applications increases our time on Facebook and the amount dedicated to Facebook, such as people are focused way too much on the amount of likes that they on one of their posts. The better the post or the more exciting it is, the more likes you get. And this leads to higher levels or more extreme levels that people will go just for more likes on a post.
So as you can see, social media has affected us greatly. Around the world, it helps us keep in connection and contact with what's going on. It helps us keep in touch with each other through several social networking devices. But it distracts us in our personal lives, and it can somewhat get us addicted to social media.